Hello, hello. Happy weekend. Hello. We're back. We're back. More true crime. Oh, we have a lot to talk about today. We have a lot to talk about. Hello, my beautifuls. How are you? I hope you guys are having a good weekend thus far. Let's see. Oh, I see a bunch of my amazing mods in here. Hello, hello. 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗃. Hello. I saw 𝗟𝗲. Hello, 𝗟𝗲. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗲. Hi, 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃. It's been a long time. I miss you. I'm happy to see you today. I hope you're doing well. I see MJB. Can you guys see me and hear me? I hope so. I'm not just ranting. StreamYard's been messing with me too, so let me know if I get laggy or something. Hello, beautiful Natasha. Hello, Augie. It's good to see y'all. Thank you for being here on the weekend. Hello, hello. Good to see you, as always. Hey, Patty. I see you popping in. And hello, everyone else, all the viewers. Hello, my name is Melly. Welcome to my channel. We do all things true crime. And today we're going to be talking about the track stabbing case out of Texas. I know it's been out for quite some time, but I got all the tea today. I have the arrest report. We're going to play the presser. We're going to play some videos from the family. I got some arrest records to go through. So we're kind of deep diving it. So I appreciate you guys for being here. On April 2nd, Austin Metcalf was stabbed by Karmelo Anthony, both 17 years old. Austin went to Memorial High School in Texas, and Karmelo was from, I always forget, Frisco Centennial High School, I believe. And he stabbed Austin in the chest/heart at a track meet. And there's a lot of controversy regarding this case because it's a whole race thing. Where were the parents, or where were the employees who were supposed to be there at that high school track meet? It's not very often that we see true crime at a track meet. So I think that in itself is very wild. But I know there's a lot of controversy. I know the whole thing about, if you're not familiar with the case, Karmelo's family went out and got a house, a new Escalade. They have an activist spokesperson defending their family, and that's who we're going to deep dive today as well. Someone by the name of Dominque Alexander. He's like a BLM activist, and he has quite the rap sheet. So we're going to go through that. And we don't really know. It is alleged that they had problems. It was Austin was there with his twin brother, who held him in his arms when he died after being stabbed. It is said that they were going to jump Karmelo. It is said that Karmelo has tendencies in his past, which I do want to show a picture of him in just a second. The family, there's a lot of hearsay, and we're just going to deep dive the facts off of the arrest warrant and what's out there. So I know it's a touchy subject because of race, the whole race thing. Austin was white, Karmelo is African-American. So I feel like that in itself is a whole thing. And I've watched some content on this, and, it's just so hateful. It makes me really sad. So much hate, and just people defending Karmelo, saying that, the guy deserved it because whatever, they had beef, problems. He doesn't deserve to be stabbed. And my concern is, why did you come to a track meet with a knife that large? Why was that even a thing? Whether Austin wanted him there or not, Karmelo was underneath their tent at his high school. We don't really know what the issues were, but regardless, why do you have a knife that big in your track backpack or your gym bag? And, you know, to stab someone in the heart is pretty brutal. And I just question a lot of the psychology behind that and, you know, the family background. And I think we'll start to see a lot of that as this case unravels. But thank you for being here. We're going to start with the arrest report. Hey, S-Dubs. I think the hate is coming from Anthony's camp, says 𝗵𝗃𝗃. Yeah, I think it's brutal. Some of the stuff I've seen out there, I'm just disgusted and horrified in how people treat each other. Hello, my beautiful 𝗟𝗲𝗃𝗲, I've missed you. And how, you know, the things people call each other out there, it's just so racist. Thank you, 𝗵𝗃𝗃. I'm happy you're here. Okay, so let's get started with the arrest report. April 2nd, Karmelo Sincere Anthony, 17 years old, weight 130 pounds, born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Oh, I didn't know that. Employer, 𝗍𝗶, occupation, cashier. First degree felony, murder. He literally, I think, stabbed him in the heart. So sad. And my heart goes out to both of the families. I'm not here defending one or the other. We don't really know. We weren't there, but there's a lot of witnesses. I heard there's like 30 witnesses, so I'm sure we're going to hear a lot of stuff. But, you know, my heart goes out to both families. It's tragic. It's terrible. It's horrifying. I can't imagine. An adult male was taken into custody following a stabbing called on FISD property. Staley School Resource Officer E. Cortez heard over the radio dispatch call out a stabbing call at David Kendall Stadium. FPD call notes indicated that an athlete was stabbed. The suspect was reported as being a black male wearing a gray hoodie and blue sweatpants. I immediately left my office and ran across the Staley Middle School parking lot. My apologies if I'm not saying that right. Towards a southwest entrance into the stadium. As I entered in the stadium, 2 high school age students informed me that the victim was on the north end of the stadium by the bleachers under a Memorial High School tent. I did not identify these students. Next, I proceeded towards north end of the stadium, the visitor side on foot. As I got closer to the north end, I could see the Memorial High School tent with multiple individuals under the tent. Once I arrived onto the north side bleachers, an adult male who was on the track pointed out the suspect. I was not able to identify that witness. The individual that was pointed out to me was a black male wearing a gray hooded sweater and dark colored Nike pants. The suspect at this point was on the track on the north end. There was a chain link fence that separated me from the suspect. I gave the suspect instructions to keep his hands up in the air. During the time the suspect said verbally out loud, I was protecting myself. It should be noted that I had not questioned him about the incident when he made a comment. I asked him if he had any weapons and he said no. I patted him down for weapons while we were walking along the fence and I did not locate any on his person. I instructed the male to continue walking along the fence, which he complied, towards an area where there was an opening in the fence that led off the track. While walking him off the track, the suspect also said he put his hands on me. Then I detained the suspect's handcuffs, handcuffed behind his back, and had him sit down on the ground. Officer 𝗍𝗃𝗃 had arrived on scene at that time. I conducted another pat down of his person and then searched his person after he gave me consent. No weapons were located. While the suspect sat on the ground, I advised that I had the alleged suspect. The suspect then responds and says, I'm not alleged. I did it. Next, Officer Ritchie and I, that's crazy. Next, Officer Ritchie and I walked the suspect to the patrol vehicle number 2412, which was on the northeast gate on Kendall Stadium. As we were walking to the squad car, the suspect was emotional and he said, quote unquote, he put hands on me. I told him not to. I did not question the suspect about the incident while he was escorted to the patrol vehicle. I searched this person once again, and I had him sit in the back seat area, driver's side of the patrol vehicle. While the suspect was in the back seat, I noticed fresh blood on his left middle finger. I verbally acknowledged that I saw the blood out loud so that it would be captured on my body-worn camera. It should also be noted that the suspect asked me, quote unquote, "Is he going to be okay?" while he was in the back seat. I had not read this. I'm shook. I'm shook. Hey, gas mask. Hey, Holly from Canada. I wonder if this had anything to do with gang initiation. Hello, nameless. This is crazy. I then identified the suspect. He provided his name and date of birth verbally as Karmelo Anthony, with the date of birth of redacted, which I ran through the FPD dispatch. Officer J. Hancock arrived on the scene and remained with me and the suspect at this point. Karmelo was then checked via 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗃 database to also confirm his identity. The identifying information he provided matched the individual I had in custody, Karmelo Anthony. Next, I was advised by Sergeant Holland to transport the subject to the Frisco PD jail. Officer Hancock and I transported him to the FPD jail. Then I did not question Karmelo about the incident. Again, I did not. Upon arriving at the Frisco jail, Karmelo was escorted in the intake area. FPD jail staff changed him into jail attire. I remained with the jail staff the entire time that he was changed over. The clothes that Karmelo was wearing were placed, I think they meant? I don't know. An FPD paper bag evidence. The clothes remained in my possession from this point on. Upon Karmelo being placed into a jail cell, I continued to keep possession of his clothes. I returned to my patrol along with Officer Hancock, which was in the FPD Sally Port, and placed Karmelo's clothes in the back trunk area. I drove patrol vehicle out of the Sally Port and parked the squad car in the FPD patrol parking area. Karmelo's clothes remained in the trunk area of the vehicle. FPD crime scene technician Dillard then took possession of Karmelo's clothes. I added my body-worn camera to the case. I have no further information to report. Okay, so that was by Officer Cortez Eduardo. And then this is the little report by Officer Allison Ritchie. Even if they were trying to jump you, like, is that a normal reaction to just stab someone in the heart? Like, I'm just confused. There seems like there's a lot to this, so we don't know. There's a lot of, I think, pieces to the puzzle to put this together that are missing, because, like, that's brutal. It's vicious. It's angry to stab someone in the heart. Was it self-defense? They do have stand your ground in Texas. He is out on bail. That is one of the whole things that's causing a lot of controversy, because he had like a $1 million bond, and the judge let him out on like $250,000, and then they were buying all this nice stuff. We don't really know about that, but the judge is also being doxxed and harassed and bullied because of this case. So there's a lot of moving parts here, but stabbing in the heart. Oof. Let's read this part. Oh, thank you, Augie, my love. I appreciate you. It's very suspect. Run like hell. I mean, even if he was being jumped, like, did he think he was going to get jumped right then, that second, under the tent? Like, and where did you get the knife from? Like, of all things, you can have a taser, you can have, I mean, there's so many weapons. I'm just shook. Like, someone just pulled out a knife. I don't know. I might be, not that I'm normalizing it or saying it's okay, but I would almost be not as surprised if it was like a firearm, because it's like we see that so much in the United States, crimes with high school shootings, but then I'm like, a knife? Like, who comes to attract me with a knife? Is that your protection? I know there's a law on the knife. You are allowed to have them, I believe, in Texas, but only certain sizes of them, which I think is probably in a lot of states, but I'm still shook about that. But Augie, I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting my channel and being a great mod. And she gifted 5 memberships. So welcome new members to Mellyverse. Let's see. Clark. Yay! Clark got one. A couple other people. So welcome. Thank you, Augie. I appreciate you. He was already suspended for bringing a knife to school. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Thank you, Holly from Canada. Yeah. Okay. So we talk about this all the time in like mental health on my channel, but like someone didn't just think I'm gonna wake up today and stab someone in the heart and kill them, right? There's like, I think, a process to how people get to that mental place. Yay! Hey, guest mask. Did I say hi? Wasn't sure. Okay, let's read the rest of this report. This one is by Allison Ritchie. I arrived and I was operating a fully marked Frisco police vehicle. At about that time, I was dispatched to the report of a stabbing at the stadium. Frisco police dispatched advised an athlete had been stabbed. The suspect was described as a black male wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt and blue sweatpants. I responded code 3 from the area of the 𝗟𝗲𝗃 Parkway and Frisco Street. I arrived at scene at approximately 10:05 hours. When I arrived on scene, I approached the track field area and saw Officer Cortez kneeling next to a black male wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt and blue sweatpants. The male later identified as Karmelo Anthony was in handcuffs and was seated on the sidewalk by the entrance to the track. As I approached Officer Cortez stated that Anthony was the alleged suspect. Anthony then made a spontaneous statement and stated, "I am not alleged, I did it." Officer Cortez conducted a pat search of Anthony's person to ensure Anthony did not have any weapons and found nothing of evidentiary value. Officer Cortez and I then walked Anthony to my pre-searched patrol vehicle, and Anthony was seated in the rear side compartment of my patrol vehicle. While walking to my patrol vehicle, Anthony made another spontaneous statement and asked if what had happened would be considered self-defense. I replied by telling Anthony I did not know what had happened. It should be noted the in-car camera in my patrol vehicle was activated prior to Anthony being placed in my patrol vehicle. Yes, that is self-defense. While Officer Cortez assisted Anthony to my patrol vehicle, I noticed Anthony had blood on his left middle finger. I grabbed my department-issued digital camera and took a photograph of Anthony's hands. I later uploaded the photograph to the crime scene folder under this case number. Officer Cortez remained with my patrol vehicle and Anthony while I provided assistance with scene security. Nothing further from this officer. And this one is from Will Oates. Frisco Police Department officers were dispatched to Frisco Independent School District at the stadium, Collin County, Texas, in reference to a stabbing victim call. Frisco Police Department Emergency Communications was receiving an emergency call regarding an athlete that was stabbed. The originally unknown assailant was a black male wearing a gray hooded and blue sweatpants and also had a goatee and short hair. The subject was possibly wearing Centennial High School attire as it was believed he was a student there for the sporting event. This had all taken place on the visitor side of the stadium, and the victim was under the Memorial High School stadium tent in the bleachers. At around the same time, School Resource Officer Cortez arrived on scene and began assisting the victim, trainers, and other parties. Officer Cortez also advised on the radio that he also had the suspect. Yeah, what was he doing under the tent? Do we know? Because I didn't see what he could possibly have been doing over there. Sergeant Otis was working on the 50 sector as the sergeant. He was in full Frisco Police Department uniform with distinct patches in the badge and a police duty belt. He was also marked in Frisco Police Department Patrol Vehicle 2315. He was relatively close to the call and placed himself on it around 10:02 hours and responded to the call with his patrol vehicle's overhead emergency lights and sirens activated. He arrived to the call at 10:06 hours. Sergeant Oates arrived to the stadium and began walking up the location. At around this time, Officer Cortez and Officer Ritchie were talking to a black male subject, the suspect, away from the stadium. The suspect was crying hysterically. Please see the other involved officers' narratives for their involvement. Sergeant Otis walked up to the visitor bleachers and observed the victim being treated by Frisco Fire Police Department personnel and also athletic trainers. The weather began to turn and it began to heavily downpour rain at this time. Some of the FISD staff moved to the memorial tent to cover the victim and the FFD personnel. Ooh, this sounds brutal. Sergeant Otis I'm sorry if I'm not saying that right, began using his city-issued phone to snap crime scene photos to preserve much of the scene as possible due to the weather and the large gathering of people that were involved in the incident. Other officers began to set up a crime scene with tape moving non-essential personnel out of the immediate area. The officers on scene were informed that the knife was tossed and was still believed to be somewhere close. Eventually, one of the witnesses said they remember seeing it on the bleachers still. Officer 𝗟𝗃 was able to locate the knife. It was located between rows 9, 10, and near seat 30, closest to the aisle, partially open. The rain began to come down again heavily, and it was determined that instead of moving the knife, the officers would cover it up with large blue tarp. Sergeant Otis assisted in preserving, I don't know if I'm saying that right, assisted in preserving the immediate crime scene as much as possible, while the other personnel tended to the victim and eventually transported him. At around this time, Officer 𝗦𝘂𝗯𝘀𝗰 had the crime scene log and began logging the individuals on the call to the best of his abilities. Lieutenant Crawfords and Pemberton relieved Sergeant Oates of the scene. Sergeant Oates, I'm just going to call him Sergeant Oates, went back to the police department to download his body cam and the photos he took with the city-issued phone. Sergeant Oates' city-issued had a total of 33 photos that were used to document the incident scene. We need to see those. During the download, the initial photos formatting was incompatible with the crime scene folder. He re-downloaded the photos that he took and they were able to be saved and properly for preservation of evidence. At this time, there is no further to add to this report. He was crying and he was asking if he was okay. That'll matter in court. I'll try. Oh, I'm sorry. You couldn't figure it out, nameless. They did 𝗟EITG gift again. You did, my beautiful 𝗟EITG. Thank you. I appreciate you. Shout out to 𝗟EITG. I love the way Millie reads stuck. Thank you, 𝗵𝗃𝗃. And thank you, 𝗟EITG. I appreciate you. Yeah, nameless. I hope you can figure it out. Thank you, 𝗟EITG. Okay, let's see. This is from Officer 𝗦𝘂𝗯𝘀𝗃 was assigned patrol in the city of Frisco. At approximately 10:02 hours, I responded to the report of a stabbing at the stadium. The original call note stated an athlete had been stabbed in the chest and that the suspect that stabbed the victim goes to Centennial High School. Athletic trainers were on the site and were providing care to the victim and advised he was not conscious and not breathing. The notes also indicated that the suspect was a black male with a goatee and short hair, wearing Centennial gear. I arrived at scene at approximately 10:06 hours. When I arrived on the scene, I grabbed a roll of crime scene tape from my trunk and proceeded to the visitors' bleachers where the dispatched advised the victim was. While I was walking towards the visitors' bleachers, I was approached by a witness who identified himself as Redacted, and he began telling me what happened, and I asked him where the stabbing occurred. Redacted advised that it happened under the Memorial High School pop-up tent in the visitors' bleachers. I immediately informed Sergeant Oates where the witness stated the stabbing occurred and gave him the crime scene tape to start securing the crime scene. I then had Redacted move to the walkway under the visitors' bleachers out of the rain to further speak with me. The following is a summary of my contact with Redacted, and advised he was sitting under the Memorial High School pop-up tent with his team and was near the victim, Austin, and the suspect, who was later identified as Karmelo Anthony. Anthony was from Centennial High School and was sitting under the Memorial High School tent. Austin had told Anthony that he needed to move out from under the team's tent, and Anthony grabbed his bag, opened it, and reached inside and proceeded to tell Austin, quote unquote, touch me and see what happens. No one really thought Anthony really had any weapons in his bag, and Austin proceeded to touch Anthony, and then Anthony told Austin to punch him and see what happens. A short time later, Austin grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and Anthony pulled out what Redacted recalled a black knife and stabbed Austin once in the chest and then ran away. Austin began grabbing his chest and telling everyone to get help. Redacted advised he did not know Anthony's name, but stated another Memorial Track member, Redacted, was friends with Anthony and he could identify Anthony. Redacted described Anthony as a black male, skinny with a possible goatee, short puffy hair, and wearing Centennial High School clothing. This concluded my contact with Redacted. And then Austin died in his brother's arms. Oh, this is terrible. This is terrible. Imagine the people, how much this affects the people around there too, like that saw that, the trauma. I then was instructed to start a crime scene log. I retrieved a crime scene log from my patrol vehicle. Okay, let's move on. Jerry Hancock. While working at the SRO at Independence High School, a weapons call was dispatched over the air that a detailed stabbing occurred at 𝗂𝗯𝗃 Stadium in Frisco, Texas. After hearing more dispatch call information, I drove to the scene. While en route, I heard Officer Cortez say he had the suspect in custody. When I got on the scene, I looked for Officer Cortez and went straight to him to hold security with the suspect that he had cuffed and secure the police squad. Multiple witnesses were providing statements to officers where the stabbing occurred at the Memorial High School track tent. Only a short time later, Officer Cortez and myself escorted the suspect, Karmelo Anthony, to the Frisco adult holding facility. Anthony was transitioned off to the jail staff without incident. All jail paperwork was completed and SDI took the investigation from there. And then this is from Officer 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗲. I was dispatched in regards to a stabbing. The note stated an athlete had been stabbed in the chest, was unconscious and not breathing. When I arrived on the crime scene was already marked off and suspect was in custody. I began asking people if they were witnesses to anything. I made contact with Hunter, redacted, and then redacted. They were both breathing heavily and crying due to the nature of events. They were with the coaches on the field and it was pouring down rain. We made the decision to relocate to a locker room just to get to the east to get out of the rain. Once in there, things calmed down a little bit. However, they were still hysterical and could not really talk. Again, the trauma. In there, I learned Hunter was the brother of the victim. I can't believe it. I attempted to ask them both what had happened. I could not really get anything out of Hunter, but redacted said he wanted to speak. I asked him what had happened, and he stated they were all sitting on the bleachers under Memorial High School tent when another male who he did not know walked over and sat under the tent. Redacted then said Austin, the victim, told this male that since he did not go to Memorial, he had to leave the tent. Austin and the male went back and forth, and then Austin stood up and pushed the male to get him out of the tent. Redacted said during this time of arguing, the male was reaching around the bag he had. It was at this time the male took out a knife and stabbed Austin and then left the scene. This was all Redacted remembered when he talked to me. After this, I then stood by 3 athlete witnesses until CID arrived and interviewed them. I was then relieved by the SRO and went back to the patrol car. Wait, so Hunter says that they didn't know him. So why are there rumors? And this is why it's crazy, but the internet is a crazy thing. But why were they saying that they had wanted to jump them? Was there prior beef before that? If Hunter's saying they didn't know him, then they didn't know him, probably, right? This is crazy. Let me see what you guys are saying. That's terrible. How people can be so horrible. I know. It's so terrible. At approximately, okay, this one is from Mike Crawford. I arrived on scene and observed medical personnel and several bystanders standing next to a subject later identified as the victim, Austin Metcalf. The medical personnel were actively engaged in life-saving measures with Mr. Metcalf. I observed that a crime scene, is that Mr. Metcalf or a teacher? I observed that a crime scene was created and then around the area and began collecting the names and contact information of the bystanders within the scene. I then met with Officer 𝗏𝗄𝗃 and directed him to begin a crime scene log. As he was getting the needed paperwork, I took over his responsibilities of monitoring a witness to the event. Ultimately, the witness was taken to another area out of the rain, and Officer 𝗟𝗃 took over the crime scene log, and I forwarded the information to bystanders. This is from Officer Jacob 𝗟𝗃. He was dispatched. Upon my arrival, I tried to get an updated location of the suspect. I could not see Officer Cortez when I arrived. Officer Cortez informed over the radio that he had the suspect in custody. At this time, I turned my attention to the victim. Multiple FISD trainers were already performing CPR. I could see blood on and around the victim. At this time, medics arrived and began life-saving measures. I coordinated with other officers on the scene to secure the location. By this time, the students and the FISD staff had cleared the area. I used crime scene tape and began to tape off the area. It began to rain harder at this time. Sergeant Otis and myself moved a Memorial High School tent over the medics and victim to attempt to preserve the evidence that we could. A Memorial coach approached me and informed me that he was with the student who claimed to see the entire altercation. I told the coach to stick with the student and that we would need to get him to the police station to give a statement. The student quickly informed me that he knew where the suspect threw the knife and pointed me to its location. I located the knife with Sergeant Otis and could see blood on the knife. I quickly used my city-issued phone to take pictures before the rain could wash the blood away. Sergeant Otis located a blue tarp, and we decided that we should cover the knife without touching it in an attempt to preserve any evidence. It was windy and raining hard. Once we positioned the tarp over the knife, I reached down and grabbed a backpack left in the stands to weigh the tarp down and threw it up where Sergeant Otis was positioning the tarp. It was later discovered that the backpack I threw up onto the tarp was the suspect's backpack. It was the only Centennial High School backpack located within all of the Memorial High School backpacks in the area of the stands. After securing the crime scene tape and attempting to preserve as much evidence as possible, I assisted other officers with locating other possible witnesses. Officer 𝗦𝘂𝗯𝘀 was maintaining scene security while I was assisting to the other officers. After the medics transported the victim, I relieved him of that post so he could go back to the patrol. I maintained the scene security while the call was cleared. Photos will be uploaded to the crime scene folder. Hey, Mary D, good to see you. Please don't be annoying in the chat. We're just having a good time. Oh boy. Kyle Pemberton. Officer Kyle Pemberton. Responded, Texas in response to a report stabbing. The location is a school stadium. Call notes advice. A male had been stabbed and was unconscious. Upon arrival, several officers and medical personnel were attending to the victim, who was laying on the ground of the stadium bleachers. I coordinated the Frisco PD response trying to establish a crime scene. The knife reported to have been used in the assault was located by another officer in the bleachers. Shortly after my arrival, a large downpour of rain began. I directed several officers to use the tarp found at the crime scene to cover the location of the knife. This one's from a different officer, Justin Newton, who says, I responded to Texas Health Plano to assist with the case. I was tasked with meeting the ambulance at the hospital. I arrived prior to the ambulance and waited for them to arrive. They arrived at 10:46 hours with the victim, Austin Metcalf, who was brought in by the 𝗟𝗵𝗃 bay for treatment. Oh, that's sad. Dr. Chow pronounced Austin deceased. Once he was pronounced, staff stopped treatment and disconnected cords and tubes from the machines without removing anything from the body itself. While on the scene, I took possession of clothing worn by Austin and maintained possession of the items until CSI Dillard took them from me. While on the scene, Officer Landon requested assistance in lifting sheets off the body to take photos. I then placed the sheets back when complete. I then stood by in the room for security while Officer Hernandez took additional photos. At one point they rolled the body and removed shorts from Austin, which were bagged and stayed in custody until CSI took them. At 13:24 hours, family was allowed into the scene to view the body. Oh my God. I was informed by staff and officers that they would be allowed to touch the head and the feet of Austin, which they did. This is so sad. At 13:37 hours, nurses from the hospitals bagged Austin in a body bag. At 15 hours, a transport service for the medical examiner arrived and took possession of the body. At the conclusion of the call, I took my camera off to convert mode and it went to turn off. At that point, I learned the camera had failed to activate. Due to it being to convert mode, I did not see the indicator light on top of the camera. Dang, that sucks. Officer Higgins, this is Andrew Higgins, was working at the desk officer, Parkway, Frisco, Collin County, Texas. At approximately 10:42 hours, Redacted walked into the main lobby stating that he had witnessed a stabbing and was told to come to the lobby to complete a witness statement. I gave Redacted a voluntary witness statement, which he worked on until detectives arrived to speak with him. And then Officer Thomas Craig says, I reported a student had been stabbed. Upon arrival, I first made contact with Officer Cortez, who was standing next to the marked police vehicle. Officer Cortez advised he had detained the suspect and was in the patrol vehicle. I then responded to the victim's scene that was north bleachers. As I walked up, I noticed Frisco Fire Department personnel attempting to provide life-saving measures to a subject later identified as Austin Metcalf. As the officers worked the scene, I was asked to respond to the stadium's medical locker area room to keep the following Memorial High School students, witnesses, separated until detectives could speak with them. And then there's 3 names that are redacted. While with them, I was told to take their cell phones from them and later turn them over to Sergeant Bissonnette. After being relieved, I was asked to make contact with all the FISD athletes that had been placed on school buses. Below is a list of students who identified themselves as witnesses to the stabbing of Austin Metcalf. There's a whole list of people's names redacted. People from Liberty High School Boys Track, Memorial High School Boys Track, Frisco High School Boys. So yeah, there's all kinds of people. Independence High School Boys and Girls Track, Emerson High School students from all over the place. I was also met by the following coaches who advised they witnessed the incidents. Centennial High School coach, hurt suspect, confessed to stabbing victim. I'm not going to say their names. An Independence High School coach, a Heritage High School coach. Let's move on. Those are just the witnesses. Upon arrival, I provided scene security and assisted. Okay, Officer Miller was dispatched to a stabbing located. Call notes stated the one student was stabbed in the chest by another student. Okay, so that was pretty much it. This is public information. Feel free to go get it. This is wild. This is absolutely wild. Okay. I'm going to play a video, a clip. I need to check in with you guys because this is crazy. So many are trying to make it a race issue, but I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think that either, Holly. I know it is becoming like a race thing, but right off the bat, I didn't think that when I first heard of it. I thought more so along the lines of like bullying and stuff like that. That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, maybe they had like, drama or something. So I'm going to play a clip of the family, the mom, and then we're going to visit the obituary and the GoFundMe information because that's a lot of the controversy about this case is like how Karmelo Anthony's family is doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And once we watch the presser, wait till we watch that because it's crazy. The activist that's now defending their family is pretty much a criminal in himself. Okay, so this is family of 17-year-old runner stabbed at Frisco track meet in a one-on-one interview. This is, I can't.
Dad, my son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it.
Just tell me about what happened today.
I don't know. I got a phone call from Hunter. He was screaming that
Hey,
Austin
Hunter.
had been stabbed. I was at work, and so I drove. I work in Grapevine, so I drove up to the hospital straight away. I actually beat the ambulance there. Yeah, I saw them have him come out. He was on a lot of machines, and it didn't take long for them to come in to say that he had passed. So not sure, senseless act of a boy that was in the wrong tent, and my son doing the right thing by telling that boy that he needed to be removed from where he was, and just doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it.
Oh my God.
Tell me about Austin. What do you want people to know about your boy?
Oh, he was the most amazing kid. Oh, so smart. He had college football guys looking at him to play in college. His goal was to play in college. He just wanted to play football. His life was going to the gym and working out and being a leader on his football team. And he just had such ambitions and a drive that it's hard to find in a kid. And he's just such a good spirit, and so many kids loved him, and his brother lost his best friend.
They're twins, right?
Yeah, identical twins. Yeah.
They've been like, we're going to watch a part of that.
Best of friends. Like, just.
Thank you, Nameless.
I'm so worried about my son because he's going to have to face this world alone now because he had a brother that was with him the whole time, and now he's gonna have to do it alone, and I'm just so worried about him. I really am.
Hunter with Austin today.
He was. they made him go away when they were doing CPR on him, but he was there when he was stabbed, and he was holding, I guess, the wound to keep it from, he was trying to save his brother. But I think he said he saw when he took his last breath and before the CPR came back in. So for what I heard, he was unresponsive for 5 minutes. They were able to revive him a little, but I think it was too little too late.
What can the community do for your family?
They need to support the kids at the school. Austin was loved by so many people. They need to know that there's other people out there for them and not against them, you know. And
sorry,
Frisco Memorial has got a football program it's in a process, and we want everybody to know that it's a family and they're there together. So, but just to put your arms wrap around the support. This is Hunter. Did you want to talk to him?
Oh, man. I'm so sorry for your loss. Thank you. I'm so sorry. He's a good kid. We just got a little altercation. That's really it. But he has a good heart. Everyone knows. Everyone around here knows he's a great kid. He just one mistake from that dude, and just took my brother. Just he didn't deserve it. No one deserves a loss from a family like that. I know people that lose their family members all the time, but I just didn't know it's gonna be mine so soon. I'm not been studying my brother my whole life, but if y'all can just like, not y'all, sorry, just like thank y'all for just comforting us, and like the Frisco area has been comforting my family and me. And I just really appreciate everything that everyone's done. It's just it's a really hard loss, but we're gonna get through it with my family. So we'll just stay together.
Wow.
I mean, our relationship is really the tightest I've ever seen in somebody, like between two human beings. I mean, we did everything together, clean the dishes together, do the artwork together, sports. You name anything in the world, it's always us two and one thing. So you're always just
thank you, Nameless.
one person.
You guys just a few minutes apart?
Appreciate
4
you.
minutes.
Mm-hmm. Austin was first by 4 minutes. He got stuck in me.
So technically, you're bigger brother.
Yes, ma'am. He does a lot of big brother stuff around. He's always on my back. Even if I'm in the wrong, he'll always take my side no matter what. So it's just really heartbreaking to see someone that cares for you that much and does everything even by your side no matter.
Again, I go back to like, could this have been prevented? Was it like, so yeah, you were being punked, but like, did you have to stab him to death?
I don't want just pass away like that.
Mm-hmm. Your mom told me
I don't
that
get
you
it.
were there.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks, Jose.
If you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move.
There's no excuse.
He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Also grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So
Yeah.
just that's just what I saw. And I try to help him, but
That's true.
Senseless.
That's just.
it was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. Like that man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time, and he did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was a strong kid, real strong. And I know I'm strong too, but he's a little stronger. But he did a lot for our family and a bunch of stuff.
I feel like this young man is going through it right now.
It's just like, especially throughout our friends too. Like everyone knew, like he was the peacemaker. So I'm saying, like, heard someone who really makes peace, really calms peace down. He makes everything sail smoothly. And because I get upset, but then he calms me down. He was just always there for me. So it's just really heartbreaking to see like how this happened.
Oh my goodness. And you guys were
17.
Yeah.
They'll be 18 in July.
I saw a lot of articles say you guys were 16. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, they're 17.
Yes, ma'am.
Junior?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Austin wanted to play football.
He would have played college football.
he would have.
He
For sure.
He definitely used his mindset, his skill level, his IQ at the game was probably the best I've seen in the Frisco area.
Carmelo
As a
had
linebacker,
violence on
he
his
was a
mind.
stud, and I always try to fill those shoes with him and play with him. And I had a blast my whole life playing sports with him. My whole life, it was just me and him always good against people. And our last year together was this year, so it's just really heartbreaking not to see him.
I believe he was angry and wanted to hurt people, absolutely, but I think there's more to that. One of the pictures I'm going to show in a second. I think this violence started elsewhere, and his parents were aware of it, in my opinion.
I'm so sorry, my love. Oh my goodness. I saw that he won like linebacker of the year
for the Frisco Memorial. He was
second team all district, which he should have been first.
Yeah.
But it's just everyone knows around this area the impacts of what he does for football and what he does for families and friends. Like, he's just a great guy overall to be around, and
hard worker.
Extremely. It's just really hard. It's just really hard to see someone go like that just for like recklessness.
Mm-hmm. My focus of my story is, of course, on Austin. That is what's most important. But what would you say about the suspect and what's next? I don't
know anything about him. We have nothing to say.
I've never met this kid until right then. It really was under 30 seconds, this altercation. I've never met this kid in my entire life. And it's just.
And to be honest with you, we don't want to give him any recognition or any care, because we have no desire to have anything to do with that man. So.
Wow.
If Austin can hear you, what would you say to him?
I'd say, that's really hard, but I'd say a lot of things, because I saw him before his last moments, and it was just
how much we loved him. He knew that.
He knew how much I loved him, how much I do for him. I do anything for him.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Good to see him.
I think anything that he needs, I'll do it for him. He's just a great guy. So when you have a great guy, you want people to be around you. They're going to be around you no matter what. Like, he's a great leader. That's why I always want to tell him, like, I always wanted to be like him in that sense. It's like how he just communicates and has great ways with people all the time. And I always looked up to him for like that. He was a big brother in a sense. He was the same age, but he was a big brother than me.
We just want to make sure that everybody knows how much that Austin is going to be still in our lives, as far as in our memories and our hearts forever. You know, it's going to be really hard. This is going to be really hard.
I see how much you guys love and adore him.
I'm really trying not to cry, but it's
wow, my heart breaks for them.
Yeah. He was my big baby. He was 225 pounds.
Oh, dang.
Both of them big boys. And
whoa. Yeah,
they were movie time with them. They would ask me if we'd watch a movie and sit on the couch, and he'd put his head on my lap, and I'd scratch his back, and he was just, I don't know. He'd tell me things. He was so personable with me, and I knew stuff that most teenagers wouldn't tell their moms.
I can't wait to see videos and pictures.
We were close, and now it's going to be us wrangling the future together.
I know you were with him till the end, right?
I feel like this crime is, and this topic is causing a lot of like hate crime.
Did you hold him?
You know what I mean?
I did. They yanked me off.
They had to leave. He had to be removed when they did CPR. And then he wasn't able to be in the ambulance with him on the way to the hospital.
So it was just like hard throbbing the whole time, the whole ride on the hospital.
Yeah,
how did you get to the hospital?
My dad came. I called my mom. My mom didn't know. She didn't answer. She was at work, and then she answered my phone. I told her what happened. She came in right away, and then we drove to the hospital. We're trying to fit everything out.
Yeah, it was hard. That was tough because I beat the ambulance.
We're loving this case already.
I don't even know how that's possible, but I did.
And gross.
Because I came in from Grapevine.
Why did that just go black? Because was that the end of it? I've heard no release yet. Yeah, I haven't heard. I didn't see anything on that. That must have been it.
I don't even know how that's possible, but I did because I came in from Grapevine.
Okay, yeah, that was it. I'm going to, I want to read the obituary really quick. And then I want to read, there's a lot of controversy about Karmelo's GoFundMe and what the family's doing and etc. So I wanted to read the little, information about the GoFundMe. But let's read Austin's obituary first. Rather short, but I thought we should just consider it. Austin Metcalf, born July 31st, 2007 to April 2nd, 2025. Oh, it's gone now. I was able to, I might have to, there we go. With heavy hearts, we announce that the ultimate passing of Austin Matthew Metcalf, a bright and beautiful young soul whose journey was tragically cut short. Born on Tuesday, July 31st, 2007 in Frisco, Texas to Jeffrey and Megan Metcalf. Austin illuminated the lives of his family and friends with his infectious laughter and gentle spirit. He was a beloved brother to his identical twin and best friend, Hunter, whose unwavering love and support will forever echo in the cherished memories that they hold dear. From the time he was born, Austin was such a joy. He was one of the most kind-hearted and genuine people. When you met him, you knew he was someone you could count on in your life. He would always be there for anyone and would do anything for them. Along with being someone you could call on at any time for anything, he could also make everyone laugh. He was so incredibly funny and outgoing. His spontaneity was amazing, and he could always get a smile out of you. He was a junior at Memorial High School in Frisco, Texas. Austin is a member of Hope Students and attended Hope Fellowship East on Wednesday nights as well as on Sunday mornings. At a young age, Austin was fearless in any sport he tried, and his talent would shine through. No matter what sport he tried, he did everything he could to the best that he could be, and his work ethic as he got older never wavered so that he could stay the best. When he found football, it was instantaneous that he knew that was what he wanted to play. He loved the sport with all his heart and never gave up on his dream of playing in college and even farther if that's where his drive would take him. Austin's second love in life was the Texas outdoors. His many hunting and fishing trips that he went on with his father Jeff and brother Hunter are treasured memories. He even had shot his first hog this year and was extremely proud. Austin was a kind-hearted student navigating the halls of life with dreams yet to be fully realized. Though his time with us was fleeting, the impact he made in his short years was profound, leaving traces of joy and warmth in every moment shared. As we remember him, we reflect on a life filled with potential, aspirations, and pure essence of youth. He leaves behind to cherish his memory. Are his parents, Jeffrey and Megan, his best friend in life and birth, identical twin brother Hunter, his maternal grandparents, and his paternal grandparents, maternal aunt and uncle, paternal aunt and uncle, cousins, along with many extended aunts, uncles, cousins, and friends. The circumstances of his passing on April 2nd, 2025 serve as a solemn reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of each day. We gather together in grief and celebration of Austin's spirit, honoring the love that binds us all. Family and friends are invited to unite in remembrance at the memorial service that will take place April 12th. In this memory of sorrow, we stand together committed to honoring Austin's memory and supporting each other through the heaviness of loss. May we carry forward his spirit with kindness, compassion, and appreciation of the moments we share. That's a very beautiful obituary, I must say. Okay, so now I'm going to pull up the Karmelo. It's not a GoFundMe. It's called Give, Send, Go. And this is where allegedly they made all this money and bought a house, an Escalade. I don't know necessarily what of that is true and if they use that money for the money that they got through this fund to do all of that. And if they did, gross. Help Karmelo official fund. This is Karmelo Anthony right here. He raised $513,000. We're grateful for your support during this incredible, difficult time for Karmelo Anthony and his family. Wait. Wait, Karmelo's still alive. Why does it sound like he passed too? Ugh. Okay. The fundraiser has been established to provide comprehensive assistance to Anthony's family as they navigate many challenges surrounding Karmelo's case. Purpose of the fund. While legal defense is a critical part of this journey, we want to make it clear that this fund is not solely dedicated to legal expenses. Oh, okay. The funds raised will also support a range of urgent and necessary needs that have emerged as a result of the situation, including, but not limited to, the self-relocation of Anthony's family due to escalating threats to their safety and well-being, as well as basic living costs, transportation, counseling, and security measures. Oh. So underneath this context here, what they mean is they bought a nice new house to move to because they were in fear of their lives. They were selling t-shirts with Karmelo's face on them. Where's the t-shirts with Austin's face on them? We ask for your continued support and solidarity. Your contribution not only helps protect and stabilize the family, but also serves as a powerful message of the community care and resistance in face of injustice. Thank you for standing with the Anthonys. Wait, what injustice? We haven't seen anything yet other than their son stabbed someone. There's no proof that Austin had bullied him until we get like text messages or there's a conversation or there's a Snapchat where Austin and his brothers are bullying Karmelo. I really don't want to hear anything else. This is a very frustrating case. His family had money. I mean, they had a relative that was in the NFL, so I'm not sure why the fund started. What is he claiming happening? Self-defense? Yeah, he's claiming self-defense because I guess the Metcalf brothers were telling him to leave the tent and not be there and to leave because he didn't belong there. He didn't go to the school. He was under the wrong tent. Until I find out exactly what he was doing underneath that tent and then exactly what Austin said to him and if Austin was trying to put hands on him. I know they had like an altercation and I think he, like in the police report said he did touch him or try to move his stuff or whatever, but that doesn't necessarily mean he had to go stab him and kill him. Wow, complete denial. The comments on, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like what I just read there. But let's watch a clip of, wait till we get to the press conference. Just wait. You just wait. But let's watch, we're going to watch a clip of the Karmelo Anthony attorney.
Self-defense is a protection that applies to each and every one of us. There are two sides to every story. And Karmelo is a 17-year-old kid and an excellent student.
Thank you, Mary. Glad you made it.
He's the captain of
Austin pushed him.
He's the captain of his football
He didn't
team.
deserve to be stabbed from pushing.
This, he was, what was on his mind was what
Thank you,
college he
Emma
was gonna
Clark.
go to. This is
Good point.
a tragedy all the way around for both families. Rushing to judgment, you know, trial by public perception and trial by media is not how we ensure justice is done. We are confident that after a full investigation, that the truth will come out.
This is the one before, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
You took umbrage with the state's assessment that this was simple and brutal. Why so? Well,
The fact of the matter is, like I said, there's two sides to every story, and we've only heard one side. You know, in any criminal
While
case,
Austin's dead.
the police investigate, and the defense is always far behind that. And so it is
gonna come tell you his
one-sided
side?
investigation to this point, and even that investigation is still ongoing. So to say that it happened this way or that way is just not accurate at this point. All of the facts are going to come out, and that's why our system of justice requires that we keep our minds open and we let the facts come out.
So he's
as
had
they
2
are
lawyers now?
after a full investigation.
Is your client going to be able to make bond and get out today?
I anticipate that he will be able to make bond. I can't speak to how quickly that will go. You know,
He did get bond, $1 million to $250,000.
Raised are not quick to come out, and then there's obviously a process to the release process once bond is posted.
The big question that a lot of people have is, why was this young man armed on school property?
That's an understandable question, but it's not something that, frankly, we're prepared to even go into. This is something that I know
The world is
the
so
police
backwards.
and the prosecution want to get it right and want to have a full and fair investigation, and so
That's
do
true,
we.
Wake
So
Town, Mom.
it would be irresponsible
Miami.
for me or them at this point to start saying this is what happened, this is why, anything. So I understand that's a big question. It's going to be a big question, and it's something that we will find out, and we ask that the public, as hard as it is, withhold judgment and let
What are you
both
asking of
of
me,
these
sir?
families have justice. That let both of these young men, the Metcalf family and the memory of who they've lost, but also Karmelo, have a fair and full justice process.
How has he?
Ultimately, your feeling on the reduction of this bond? You feel it's fair?
Yeah, I feel it's fair. Bond, as the judge said, is not supposed to be an instrument of oppression. It's not supposed to keep people in jail. It's not supposed to punish. It's supposed to ensure that a person shows up to court.
Okay, this wasn't an attack on Karmelo and his family and his race. Like, I'm so confused why they're doing this and making it about race.
It complies with all conditions, and it's supposed to keep the community
at
safe.
least at this
This
point.
is a large and substantial bond, and the judge has, I think, rightly imposed reasonable conditions that will ensure both Karmelo and the Anthony family's safety.
Yeah, we're gonna pull him up.
What was Karmelo's reaction today? He didn't seem very talkative toward you, and how has jail, I guess, been so far for this teenager? And is he on suicide watch or anything like that?
I honestly can't speak to Karmelo's reaction because I was so focused on the hearing and what was going on and what the judge was saying. I think we have to all remember Karmelo is a 17-year-old kid who's never been in any sort of trouble before. If you can just put yourself in his shoes, this is a scary, bewildering process, and I can't even imagine what was going through his head.
Yeah, I think the judge made a mistake.
I can't imagine what was going through the heads of the Metcalf family. So this is something that is
Baby, good to see you,
to
love.
all of them, and incredibly trying.
So for people who want to know, why were you selected? I mean, what is your experience? I mean, you had to be really good.
I can't speak as to why I was selected. In any case, it's important to have an attorney that you connect with, that you feel has
This
the right
is
amount
ridiculous.
of experience and the right investment in the case. And I'm not speaking to anybody else. I just know that that's important in any case.
Just how unsafe does this family feel? You mentioned it multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to speak for them at this point, but I think you can imagine the press coverage on this case has been immense, and
regardless of why the judge did it, she made her bed, she needs to lay in it. I'm not saying that she deserves to be harassed and bullied. She, as a judge, should have considered all of the things when reducing that bond from 1 million to 250,000. That's a vast difference. That's very,
unfortunately, as is common in our culture, especially lately, the vitriol and the public reaction one way or the other has been intense, and threats and
I mean, no disrespect to the judge, but
and all kinds of insanity isn't good for, obviously, the Anthony family. It's not good for the Metcalf family. It's not good for the peace and safety of our community. So, I would ask, and I know both sides would ask, that the temperature on this be allowed to come down. That the media, you guys have a job to do, and I understand that everyone does. But at the same time, we just ask everyone in the public and everywhere to let this process play out fairly and fully for both sides. Okay, thank you guys.
Okay, so that was the lawyer. I'm going to pull up now. I'm gonna pull up a picture of Karmelo. Hold on. Let me see. Do you guys see it now? Okay, yeah, there you go. This is the man that stabbed him. The kid, the man. The 17-year-old kid. I would like for the family of Karmelo to please explain why there are signs of violence in these photos. I have questions. This to me proves nothing good. It proves that there's more to Karmelo than we know. And that could be why he decided to do something so violent. There's a background there. This is intense. 17 years old. That's who stabbed Austin. So promoting violence, that looks like. Was that too harsh? Don't get all up in your feelings up in here. Relax. Okay, we're gonna play the press conference. And that will probably make your blood boil. And then we're going to go into some arrest reports. At this press conference, the family has someone by the name of, he's like a activist for Black Lives Matter, and he does a bunch of activist work, Dominique Alexander, and he is a literal clown. But let's watch the presser. I've not watched this fully, and I am really excited to watch it. Okay. His family speaks here. Firearms. Yeah, Texas to own firearms. About to Google that. Ish.
Thank you.
Probably. Firearm age in Texas. 21. Oh. Search his mugshots. Oh yeah, we for Dominique Alexander, yeah, we have them coming up. He's a clown. He's a 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗲 too. Yeah. And the other side posts Austin's hunting images, make it look the same. This guy was not a hunter, I don't believe. Karmelo.
Okay, I'm gonna
His parents, this is Dominique Alexander, an activist who has a lengthy rap sheet that we're going to cover in a second. Because why is someone like this representing your family, ma'am? Ma'am, I have a question.
Make sure you let me know.
Mom up there. I don't know what her name is. Yeah, kill someone and play victim at the same time. This man right here in the red tie.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, testing. We all good? We all good? Okay. All right.
I have nothing nice to say, so I might not even say anything at all.
I want to start off this press conference to say something as a deep note.
Let me see if I can turn on closed
a
captions.
deep note that I can tell America.
Oh my God, here we go.
What we seen at the beginning of this press conference, of the father being at this press conference, these are my words. Don't quote anybody. Is a disrespect to the dignity of his son. Next Generation Action Network from the beginning
Right, Augie.
has respected the loss of life. No matter our opinion of it,
I agree with you,
we
Augie.
have kept our opinion close. We have not attacked. We have not shared the information that was shared with us about Austin Metcalf, because we respect the dignity of life and loss. And as a minister, I would not attack a grieving family, even if I disagree with them. When I have stood before this podium for people who have died at the hands of law enforcement, I have asked for that same manner of respect. And even when the shoe is on the other foot, I will not do that. And all I'm going to say...
Did he just try to hint off that we don't know about Austin's past and he's not there to expose Austin?
Is that was disrespectful and just shows you all the character who is not invited. He knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family, but he did it. And so I say to people, actions speak louder than words. Okay?
Yeah, he
what
did.
He has filled into is the political operatives that want to make this thing a political thing of hate, yet bigotry, and yet racism. We have conservative operatives that have been posting nonstop about this case. It is outright disrespectful. We haven't been doing it.
He is.
The Next Generation Action Network has been here, popular and unpopular. So regardless of what's going on, that was disrespectful. Disrespectful. And I will leave it to y'all to define it. But of course, we want to. Y'all, I'm Minister Dominique Alexander. I serve as the president of the Next Generation Action Network. Today, I come before you with the...
He forgets to say he's
heavy
been a
heart,
criminal before as well.
determined in spirit,
that part.
Not just as an advocate, but as a Black man, as a father, as a protector, community,
My eyes might get
children.
in the back of my head.
There are 4 critical points I must address today, and I want to make sure that the public and the media and everyone who believes in truth and justice. First, the misinformation about the fund. From the very beginning, there was an intentional disinformation surrounding the fund created in the support of the Anthony family.
Disinformation, right.
The Karmelo Anthony Fund, hosted by 𝗟𝗄𝗃. Let's be clear. The family has not received one dime. Any of the media could have verified this, but we saw on Twitter, we saw on Facebook, and so many different things of the false, lavish life of this family. $800,000 home, purchase Escalade, in private security. Let me make this very clear. The Next Generation Action Network has always had its security detail. Many of you that know us in the Dallas and Fort Worth media know that we have our own security detail.
What?
One of the individuals that escorted Karmelo Anthony out of jail is here present with us now. They are a part of the Next Generation Action Network security team. The family hasn't hired any private contractors or whatever.
I can't with this
or
guy.
Spurs or whatever.
I
But
can't.
if they have the audacity to spend money for their safety and security,
Maybe
that's
refresh
their
this stuff.
prerogative.
Hi, beautiful Callie Babe. Good to see you, love.
The family has not withdrawn, and just until recently, just yesterday, they were officially notified by 𝗟𝗄𝗯𝘀𝗃𝗀 that they
I would like to know where the family found this man to be their representative. Like, wait till you hear some of the stuff he did. I'm confused.
the withdrawal process. But if
He's an
anybody know
activist for
about
Black
this
Lives Matter,
process,
but he's
they know that
shaking a
that
baby
takes about 2 to
and
3
abusing
days
babies.
to withdraw
Make that
from
make
that and actually hit any account. But this blatant propaganda wasn't just about
Not the one talking in the red tie.
It wasn't just
the one
about
standing with the female.
the
That's
fund.
the
It was to discourage the
other.
public from giving
For their
to
son
the fund.
to stab someone.
That's what this was about. Because just like TMZ
He's a
was
joke.
able to call, 𝗟𝗄𝗯𝘀𝗃𝗀, everybody in the media, in these news outlets that I've never heard before, could have did the same.
You heard of YouTube, sir.
When
Don't
I first called 𝗟𝗄𝗯𝘀𝗃𝗀, they gave me every information that I needed. Okay? So that's what I'm going to say on regards to that. Let me make this very clear. This family never
the one in the red tie is
authorized
the
a single
activist I'm
fund
talking about.
on the GoFundMe platform. All of the funds that were raised on the GoFundMe were all fraud.
Oh. Oh, I didn't know that he had. Another assault on the mic.
All of the funds that was raised on that platform were fraud. Okay? The family was the first to report these funds. One of the funds we identified raised up to $11,000. So a post about anything that stated that GoFundMe took everything down regarding Karmelo Anthony, that was at the request of the family and their supporters.
Right.
This family never tried to create an account on GoFundMe. The Next Generation Action Network is very well aware of the company's policy
self-promoting
regarding raising funds for legal defense. Okay. Since this tragedy unfolded, the Anthony family has been subject to unimaginable amount of hate, racism, threats to their safety. People have sat outside their house, sent objects delivered to their door, publicly harassed, online and in person. This is not just about Karmelo. It's about the family who dare to stand and demand justice in a return in
he's like a wannabe Martin Luther King. Absolutely not. Sit down, Dominic. Absolutely not.
Let me say this loud and clear.
Someone please come sit down.
We are not scared. We are not moving. We will not be silent.
I'm flattered, but
what I've always said as the president of the Next Generation Action Network, we will never ask the oppressor for permission to liberate our people.
The oppressor?
We will not ask.
He's like the TᕼᗪTIK.
To stand up for the rights.
This is not funny. This is very serious, but you guys are.
The Next Generation Action Network has stood on both sides of the fence in ensuring that justice is served. Now, getting to the information that the Next Generation Action Network wanted to share with the public today. And I will go ahead and pass it over to the mother. And once I make this
oh, here we go. Here we go.
All right. There's two more final. For the last week and a half, the Next Generation Action Network has engaged in communications with Frisco ISD
Yeah, one more time about that.
to ensure that Karmelo Anthony's due process is not violated. We know that in the state of Texas, there are things that are discretionary things and decisions by the leadership of Frisco ISD, right? There are clear guidance in the state and education code regarding expulsion of a student. We have asked several times. We didn't just rush. We have had these conversations over the last several days. And we have stated
that
it is just outright wrong to get involved in this.
Bow tie?
Karmelo Anthony doesn't have to walk.
No, Callie,
he doesn't have to involve in any senior activities. But Karmelo Anthony is a 3.7 GPA student. And if he doesn't even go to class for the remainder of the year, he would graduate. Okay? We've asked that Frisco do not make a decision in this situation. But Frisco ISD has notified of their intent to expel Karmelo Anthony from school 1 month before his high school graduation.
He brought a knife on campus,
that
regardless of,
that Frisco ISD is trying to push off the blame. And what I have not heard the media say, as many media outlets have asked us what went on, I'm trying to find how many of y'all have asked the superintendent or one single board of trustee, why didn't you cancel or postpone? With weather in that magnitude, you couldn't have a track meet in rain or thunderstorm or clouds. Y'all are the media. Ask your journalists, your weather journalists, how the weather was that day and that time. Y'all do that research.
It was raining. We got it.
Because
in the
as a
report.
person who is
We heard
the
it.
administrator of your children, you are responsible for the safety of the children. And so it seems as if Frisco ISD is trying to push this off by making this decision that they do not have to make. So the Next Generation Action Network, outside of the legal process, will be going through different avenues regarding to ensure that we fight for the rights of Karmelo Anthony. Okay? So in the next coming days, we will be announcing.
He stabbed a student. This isn't what race thing. It's not like.
We will do direct action outside of Frisco ISD administration office because this is outright wrong. You are getting involved in a process that even the legal process has asked us to respect. And we're asking you to do that same thing. You do not have to get involved in this situation. But it seems that even with us going and meeting,
We will get involved because you're up there standing like a wannabe MLK, like acting like you're a good man of Jesus after you shake a baby.
Or having conversations.
And almost killed me.
And we want to make sure that the records, that we talk truth to power.
I can't get past that. I'm sorry.
I wanted to lay this out to ensure.
Absolutely not.
Because of
we defend children here. We stand for children.
The sensitivity of this case, there are so many moving factors that I have to explain so that this family does not have to explain. Let me say this about the 4th, and let me repeat this so that you guys can go to the Frisco Police Department. The reason why the family or me or anybody with direct knowledge of this cannot talk about the particulars of what happened in that tent, I know you know this is all law, is because if anybody tells you there was an adult near or inside or whatever, this current investigation knows nothing about that. Everybody involved at this point of our knowledge are minors.
And I'm not opposed to hearing. I'm not saying that Karmelo Anthony is. What I am saying is about this man in the red tie, Dominque Alexander, and someone says Austin got stabbed because he and his brother bullied a young man that feared bullies. The only bully I see was that guy in the picture with a big old gun firearm. I mean,
in the state of Texas, you know we cannot release or talk about minors.
The whole thing of it all starts with, why did he bring a knife to school? To attract me.
We can't even do it if we wanted to. Okay? We can't talk about it. So don't ask.
Oh, ma'am.
There is a court of law that will express everything.
And I'm of color too, so I never felt that I needed to bring the fat knife to my track meet.
Okay? So make it clear. Go back, confirm with Frisco Police Department. Go back, confirm with the district attorney. Even in the bond hearing, you didn't see a single thing said about people that was indirect. They're minors. Okay? So stop. The social media, stop. I haven't saw not one person single-handedly get this right in the public. They're minors, y'all.
What right?
Just stop. We can't. Don't send another inquiry to NGAN inbox, do this, all of that. That's the reason why we felt like it was important to do this press conference today. We can't talk about it.
Life was
so if you ask me, I'm just going to look at you, okay? So I'm telling the world, everybody know the state law. I'm not creating it. We can't talk about it. This family can't talk about it. I can't talk about it.
That's right, Colin.
Nobody, unless you want to be sued. You release one of those 16-year-olds or 15-year-olds and 17-year-olds name, the law of this land tells you what was going to happen to you, okay? So don't ask that question. Finally, in regards to this judge, I do not know Judge Angela Tucker. I've never met her, never known her, never been nowhere near her court. Don't know anything about her until we were notified that she was going to hear the writ. But the ugly attacks on her just shows Black America.
Oh my God.
No matter what you pick in the ballot box, and that is your constitutional
What
right,
does this have to do with the ballot box and voting? Someone please.
of the Black struggle in
What
America.
is going on?
This woman is a registered Republican. Has been for years. She put herself through school. She raised her family. She did everything.
He had plans.
I'm a registered Democrat. Proud.
And it was not cutting up no shit.
I'm chair of the Dallas County Democrat Resolutions Committee. I don't know that woman. And to call her leftist is just downright. The bond that was given is according to law and consistency with practice. If Aaron Dean can get a $300,000 bond when he killed a Tatiana Jefferson,
oh gosh,
Karmelo Anthony can get a $250,000. If Amber Guyger can get a $200,000 bond when she kills Botham Judge in his own home,
we miss you too.
He can get a $250,000. If Roy Oliver can get a $250,000 bond after he kills Jordan Edwards.
Okay, I don't.
All white officers.
What are you talking, sir?
Why couldn't Karmelo Anthony be entitled? A child with no background, no criminal background, no endangerment to the community, none whatsoever, be placed on a ELM and brought home. Please help me understand. Make this make sense.
No, you help us understand what you're doing up there.
It's consistent with practice. After this, y'all, so that we'll know, this will be our final press conference until this trial. We will not speak to the media again after this. Okay?
You won't? We'll see about
that. Don't ask for comment, question, or whatever it is.
He doesn't want to be asked about
the actions that the Next Generation Action Network take on Frisco ISD will be separate from the legal process, because we want to make sure that Karmelo Anthony's due process. This is going to be a jury case. And then let me make this very clear. This is a case that has not even been indicted. So, under the guise of Texas law, it's not even really proceeding to a trial yet, because it has not even went through a grand jury to be indicted. We don't know if a grand jury will indict or not. We don't know. That's in the district attorney's hands. Okay? And their legal team is preparing.
Don't pay me like that. Like I don't know what you're saying.
Those things, and we will not be talking about the legal process regarding this case. Okay?
Not impressed.
So after today, I just want the media to know, and I want the public to know. I don't care what you say about me. I've been in this thing for 11 years. I am tried, tested, and proven.
That's why he says he doesn't care. I didn't know that until I
I'm from Oak Cliff. Worser things have been said about me, baby. You ain't got to inbox me. You ain't got to tell me. I am the first person to tell my testimony. I don't have to prove anything to nobody. I am a proven testimony standing here that God, even when you make mistakes,
there are accounts, I'm sure at some point we'll maybe get a hold of them, hopefully.
I'm going to bring this mother, 𝗟𝗲, and it has taken her a lot of strength, y'all, to come and do this today. And I want you guys to respect her as she read this, and giving her the respect that she deserves, y'all.
Good afternoon. My name is 𝗟𝗲. I am the mother of Karmelo Anthony. 3 years ago, my family moved to North Texas searching for a better life. Like so many other families, we wanted to give our children the future we did not have. My husband worked hard every single day to provide for us, to make sure we're in the best financial position possible. As a stay-at-home mom, I made it my life's mission to ensure our children are loved, nurtured, and supported every step of the way. In wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about.
Did Austin do something to be stabbed in the heart and killed brutally?
The lies and false accusations that have been said about us, especially over the past week, has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification put my family in danger, as well as everyone in our community, everyone involved in the investigation, from the police, the attorneys, and the court staff. Our address and my husband's previous employer's address has been put on all social media platforms. My husband had to take a leave of absence because he's afraid what may happen to our family. His mental health is deteriorating day by day. We have endured death threats. My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful.
I would be too if my brother had a big old gun like that in that picture.
Of what may happen to her. And let me be clear, The claims,
gas
the claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false. We have not received a single dime from the Give, Send, Go fundraiser.
Okay.
And the co-founder
Why are you so angry?
Clearly. In the reality, we were just notified yesterday that we could begin to withdraw funds.
Right. That's what I said.
And it still takes several days to receive those funds once a request is made.
Right.
I don't know why we are being targeted and discriminated against before a fair trial.
The ignorance.
Our son deserves the same rights under the law that everyone is afforded to. He's been raised in a 2-parent home with structure, stability, love, and we put God first in everything that we do. We believe in the Constitution. We believe in the laws of this state, but those laws must apply to all of us, not just some of us. To be clear, we will not speak publicly about specific details of what happened under the tent on that rainy and awful day. There's an active investigation that everyone involved wants to be full and fair. We believe in legal process, and that is where the truth will come out. To the family who experienced the loss, my heart truly goes out to you. To those who have supported my family, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We ask for your continued support, patience, and prayers as we navigate this difficult process. Thank you.
Y'all, I'm going to show something up of a post. You come for me, I come for you.
How he talks, I can't.
𝗟𝗲. Never heard of this woman. This is the kind of despicable things that led to the father being here. Political operatives motivating this family with hate. Karmelo Anthony posted on something that shows, posted here. These are the type of lies that are threatening this family.
What?
Posting the family's picture. These are the type of lies. She's getting millions of views on this. Sarah.
She should get an Oscar award.
She's even came after me. She's even said all of those things. And now that the public knows exactly what is going on, I ask.
We know.
Because these racist bigots try to prevent us from standing up for our baby, our boy, he should be afforded the same rights that 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗃 had, Daniel Pena, and all of the people
him bringing up Rittenhouse
who have claimed whatever their defense was.
I can't take him serious.
He should be afforded the same rights.
Not even like
nobody in the public media has one video camera, but we got the video of 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗃 with an AK-47 shooting 3 people in the back. We got that. And he raised more than $2 million publicly, and nobody said anything. So since they tried to come for us, I call for the community's overwhelming support for this fund. The disinformation that was put out was literally deliberate to prevent you from helping this family. And I want you to give overwhelming support to show them the community united can never be divided. And I'm going to say this again, and this is for everybody. Black people in America, while the current occupant sits at 1600 Pennsylvania.
What do you mean?
Black people in America don't have to pull the race card. It's what we live as a reality every day.
Yeah.
It's what we have to teach our children. We don't want to, but we have to. We don't like to, but if we want to sleep at night, we got to. I ain't pulling no race card. I live it.
What?
I'm reminded all the time
that
I'm a black man in America. And what y'all just showed to Judge Tucker is just reminded that hate and bigotry and racial reconciliation in this country. We respected the process. I believe that Austin Metcalf is about to have his funeral. And I wouldn't dare, even with the information I know, and plenty of people can share that and all that, but we have prevented from speaking about that in these type of public forums. It will come out. They have a more than well-capable attorney, and this family will go through.
And apparently $500,000
to get prepared for this trial. So I just say this real quick. This is our final time.
Is it your final time?
Public,
yeah, you said that like 8 minutes ago. I forgot.
Regarding this particular case. Now, the Next Generation Action Network will talk about
promoting is
Frisco ISD, but we will not do this. I will not ask this mother to do this again. The attorney will not. We won't do this again. Don't ask. We will see you at trial.
He said, don't ask.
Whatever venue that is, we will see you.
We would like to ask you about.
I stand 10 toes
your
down
experience with the law.
Supporting this family. And I want to thank all of the community leaders and people that I've seen that have came here today. Bishops and pastors and clergy, community leaders with respectability in this community. I see them today. And I want to thank them for their presence because this family needs strength right now. Thank you and God bless you.
What about this father? Why did the father speak up? That bothers me. That bothers me. Okay, I'm going to read an article once. I'm going to pull up. Now let's get into Dominique Alexander. I'm going to read something off my phone and then we'll read an article on the screen, but I'm going to pull up his mugshots. Who is Dominique Alexander? This activist up there saying all kinds of things that are wrong. Okay. How many mugshots can one activist have? Do you see what I see? Are you seeing this, ma'am and sirs? Let me take myself. Yeah. You see it? You see it. Okay. So I'm going to read an article from 2016. It says, for nearly 2 years, Dominique Alexander has been organizing protests in Dallas as the founder of the Next Generation Act Network. Now Alexander is going to prison. He was sentenced on Friday afternoon to 2 years for violating his probation on multiple occasions. The most recent violation occurred when he left the state not once, but twice without telling his probation officer. Alexander has become one of the faces of the protest movement, mild as it is in Dallas. He took the streets with 200 other protesters in late November of 2014 when a grand jury in Ferguson, Missouri declined to indict a white police officer who shot and killed an unarmed Black teenager. They marched through downtown Dallas, shut down Interstate 35E, and chanted, quote unquote, hey, hey, ho, ho, these racist cops have got to go, in front of the Dallas police headquarters after 7 of their protesters were arrested. In July, Alexander joined with a Southern Baptist minister, Rev. Jeff Hood, to lead another protest through downtown. They gathered to speak out against the killing of Alton Sterling, an armed Black man and registered S offender who was shot and killed by Baton Rouge police officers, but their protest ended with Micah Johnson's gunfire and 5 officers dead. Alexander claims Dallas Police Chief David Brown is partially holding him responsible for the police officer's death. He also said he believes Brown is angered because he refuses to hold protests in a safer place. He's absolutely blaming me, Alexander told The Observer during a visit to his home before sentencing. He even highlighted the blame in a letter to the court. Quote unquote, "In future, I will train and instruct protesters to remain peaceful in obedience to all law requests made by police," Alexander wrote. "In future, before any protest, I agree to meet with the police to confirm the exact route of the protest and to work out any possible problems in advance." Kim Cole, one of the Alexander's attorneys, said the Dallas police were trying to silence him. "They were very vocal about him getting on their nerves," she said. "They were tired of him. In some way, they blame him for what happened on July 7th. Alexander was first arrested in July of 2009 for causing serious bodily injury to a child. Police reported he had been babysitting his girlfriend's 2-year-old son for the evening when he called her at 11 p.m. and told her to, quote unquote, "get home now." But he didn't tell her why. When she arrived, she found her child unresponsive. Alexander told his girlfriend that he had been watching a movie with her son on the couch. He paused the movie, police reported. As he walked into the computer room, he heard the sound of her son, who was asleep on the couch, fall off the couch onto the carpet. But the doctor disagreed with this statement. He examined Alexander's girlfriend's son in the intensive care unit and reported that the child had subdural hemorrhage between the halves of his brain at the back of the brain. He also had retinal hemorrhages in both eyes. The severity of these injuries is not consistent with rolling off the couch, the investigating officer reported, the doctor saying. The injuries are acute and likely occurred sometime around the time his girlfriend's son started to have symptoms like being unresponsive. Without more adequate history of trauma, complainant injuries are more consistent with abusive head trauma and child physical abuse. Alexander claimed that he had taken the child to play in a bounce house that evening at Royal Crest Apartments, but he told the judge, Gracie Lewis, on Friday that he had taken the child to play in a bounce house the day before, yet he never reported the bounce house to the doctor or the investigators at the time. On Friday afternoon, the prosecutor read 2 statements that Alexander had signed not long after the incident occurred. In the first statement, he claimed that the children had fallen off the couch. In the second statement, he admitted to shaking the child. He was charged with first-degree felony. Not long after he was arrested for injury to a child causing severe bodily harm, he got into trouble for forging a check, leading police on a high-speed chase, stealing a car, and falsely claiming that the car was stolen. Alexander brought a couple of character witnesses, but one had recently met with him and the other didn't know Alexander was on probation. As far as the sentencing, Judge Lewis told Alexander, "I've given you multiple chances. Alexander will receive credit for his time he has served in jail. His attorneys believe he could parole out within 6 months." So I'm going to pull up some of the activist. I'm going to pull up, so you see him on the screen there. And now we're going to read some of the police documents. Oh, but before I pull up the police reports, let me pull up the exact charges on his record. All misconduct, regardless, shaking a baby and abusing a baby. Not okay with that. So here we have felony injury to a child, 2009. Forging a check, leading police on a high-speed chase, stealing a car, falsely claiming a car was stolen, offensive physical contact, probation violations, felony theft of property, felony assault causing serious bodily injury, misdemeanor assault, continuous violence against the family, theft, making a false report, and evading arrest. That's just wild. It really is. The court documents are just like 2 pages. They don't really have a lot of detail on them, but we're going to let me pull it up. I'm sorry. Okay, so this first one. This one is Dallas of Texas. Let me make sure you guys can see that, yeah. Motion to revoke probation or proceed with an adjudication of guilt comes now the state of Texas. Dominique Alexander, defendant, was duly and legally placed on probation for 7 years in the above titled number cause CDC 3 of Dallas, Texas, for injury, child, substantial bodily injury. The violation occurred after 1/10/2013. The state prays that the defendant be cited to appear before honorable judge. The state of Texas versus Dominque Alexander. Motion to revoke probation or proceed with an adjudication of guilt. Dominique did violate condition in that he did not report to the community supervision as directed. For September 2015, October 2015, he did violate condition where he did not pay supervision fees. He did not pay the Crime Stoppers payment. He did not complete community service. He did not pay the urine analysis fee. He failed to complete anger management. And he failed to complete parenting classes. So he didn't do anything. I know, Augie. I know, that was just one. They're really short. They don't say a lot, but once we get the ones that actually have a lot of information, that. Okay, so this one, plea agreement. Injury to child, substantial bodily injury. He got time credits from 7/22/2009 to March 13th, 2010. To the honorable judge of said court, guilty, defendant will not testify, plea bargain. State's recommendation 10 days. Post-conviction community supervision, fine of $2,500. All sentences to now, I can't read that. Stay away from C&W plus anger management plus 𝗟𝗶𝗃 and parenting courses. First degree felony, injury to child with substantial bodily injury. That's crazy. Injury to child. I admit and judicially confess that I committed the offense of injury to child on 7/5/2009, exactly as alleged in the charging instrument. I affirm that my plea and judicial confession are freely and voluntarily made and not influenced by any consideration of fear, persuasion, or delusive hope of pardon or parole. I voluntarily knowingly waive my rights under the Extradition Act. I understand I have the right to appeal. I waive and give up my right to have a court reporter make a record of these proceedings. Signed 2011. So he took a plea. Man. Okay, I have one more doc. Yeah, this is the man defending Karmelo. Not as a lawyer, but as a spokesperson. Do we already read this? Oh, this is another one where he failed to report to the supervision, violate condition in that he did travel outside of Dallas County without permission, did violate condition that he did not pay community supervision fees, failed to complete anger management. And speaking of failed to complete anger management, I have a Facebook post that he posted when he saw that people were talking about him. Listen to what he says. I'm like, sir, you should not be ranting like this on Facebook. So he says on his Facebook, keep posting my mugshot. You're just posting God's glory and facts never lie. Don't tell half, tell the whole story. I'm not here to argue. I'm not here for your approval. I'm here for every Black boy they try to write off. I'm here to break systems. I'm here to make sure another Black life isn't destroyed by hate. So to the racists trolling my page, congratulations, you just became part of my success story. I'm living rent-free in your head and still standing 10 toes down in my purpose. God had his hand on me then, has his hand on me now, and he's not done yet. I might have to go on camera. That's what he said on Facebook like a couple of days ago. Shall we apologize for his crimes too? Because he's Black after all? How any of it makes sense. I know, Augie. I know. It's so frustrating. Nasty. I'm loving. Yeah, nasty, Patty. Nasty. And I'm like, all those mugshots. That is wow. He has more than 𝗍𝗃 at this point. Wilson. Okay. I'm going to pull up a video of Austin. Oh, wait, I have one more document I wanted to pull up. We're going to read this other one that talks about his charges, and then we'll watch a short clip of Austin's dad. Okay, so this document says, Dallas activist Dominique Alexander was indicted on Monday on felony assault charge in a domestic violence case involving his girlfriend. Alexander, 30, was arrested in April after his girlfriend, 𝗟𝗏 Sanders, accused him of pushing, choking, and headbutting her during several altercations, according to police records. It was a very sad thing to be able to speak out on the things I have been experiencing, Saunders said during a press conference outside of Dallas City Hall shortly after Alexander's arrest. But on November 1st, 1 week before his indictment on a charge of continuous violence against the family, Saunders asked the grand jury to return a no bill. I want no part of this prosecution, she said. I will not testify. While Saunders previously reported to police that Alexander shoved her on April 10th, breaking one of her toes, in the signed affidavit, she said she sprained her toe when she stepped it on a piece of furniture. Saunders accused local activist Jeff Hood, who met her at the hospital that day and then drove her to the police station, taking advantage of her during an emotional time. She said during the days that led up to her filing the complaint against Alexander that she was in the final stretches of her campaign for Dallas City Council and had been working closely with Alexander, the father of her 2 children. My partner Dominic and I found the stress brought out the absolute worst in our relationship, she said. He was impatient and antsy, she continued. I was fatalistic and quick to cry. He had yelled at me, gotten in my face, and put his hands on me. However, she said he didn't cause her physical pain. Saunders claimed the case against Alexander is a way for police to get back at Dominic for all his public criticism of the department. Jeff Hood seemed to only care about hurting Dominic too. After Saunders filed the complaint against Alexander back in April, Hood said he remained friends with the fellow activist, but said he obviously has anger issues that he needs to get help with. In 2011, Alexander was convicted of shaking a 2-year-old child. He's also currently under indictment on a felony theft charge in a separate case out of Denton County. Alexander was previously convicted of theft, making false report, and evading arrest. Yeah, same way, right. That's right. That's right, Natasha, just like Casey Anthony. Okay, so I showed you guys the last, okay, I have one more clip I want to show you. Oh, let's play this video. This is, they're talking about this is an old video when he got arrested for hurting his girlfriend. It's like a 2-minute clip regarding Dominique Alexander. And then I have one of Austin's father.
Dominique Alexander has been an outspoken advocate against police brutality, but now he's under investigation for domestic violence. Just last month, Alexander was denouncing the beating in Deep Ellum, in which a woman was pummeled. And now his girlfriend is telling police he did the same thing to her. David Goins reports.
He is perhaps the most publicly vocal voice of Dallas activists concerned with police use of force. But tonight, Dallas police confirmed they are investigating Dominique Alexander after the 30-year-old girlfriend told police he struck her. Sources have told WFAA that she suffered a broken ankle in an altercation with Alexander last night.
She's hurt, she's scared, she's in a lot of pain.
Fellow activist Jeff Hood knows both Alexander and the victim well. Hood says she called him and he met her at Medical City Las Colinas last night where she was being treated.
It was very clear that something had happened.
Hood says he then drove her to DPD to file a report. Dallas police tells WFAA an individual arrived at the Northwest Patrol Division and reported an allegation involving a Dominique Alexander. The Dallas Police Department Family Violence Unit is currently investigating the allegation. It's an allegation that Alexander took to Facebook Live Wednesday afternoon to say he knew nothing about.
I cannot speak on the allegations that yet is against me. However, because I am unaware of the allegations and alleged allegations regarding me.
Alexander is most well known as being part of a large group that helped organize a protest in Dallas after the death of 2 black men by police in the summer of 2016. 5 Dallas officers were killed at the end of the protests on July 7th by gunmen unrelated to the protests. But his criminal past follows him too, including convictions for felony injury to a child, which resulted in him being rearrested for violating terms of probation 3 years ago.
I think there is no question that Dominique needs help.
Hood says he still counts him as a friend, but says his focus tonight is on the woman speaking out after a domestic violence incident DPD continues to investigate. In Dallas, I'm 𝗟𝗃𝗃𝗃.
I thought that was just interesting. What a great role model to represent Karmelo Anthony, who has committed a horrific crime. Justice for Austin and his family. I'm sad for them. Hey, maybe he did. Maybe there was bullying. We don't know that yet. But still, no one deserves to be stabbed. And why was it?
Breaking news and an update on the deadly stabbing in Frisco. Frisco police just confirmed a swatting call was made tonight to an address belonging to the victim's father. Now, that's a prank call designed to bring a lot of police to a scene. Tonight, Jeff Metcalf confirms to WFAA he wasn't home when it happened, but he did arrive about 5 minutes later. Now, this is new information, and right now we're working to learn more details. But earlier today, everything stopped and heads turned when Metcalf showed up to a news conference called by the suspect's family. Tonight, Matt Howerton has a desperate plea from Karmelo Anthony's mother.
They came to speak for the accused. Jeff Metcalf came for his son. The father of Austin Metcalf surprised cameras at a press conference in Dallas Thursday, waiting for the mother of Karmelo Anthony to speak for the first time. Anthony, 17, now charged with murder, out on bond after telling police he stabbed Metcalf in self-defense. Metcalf's father asked to leave the press conference.
I know. I don't
then
think
it began like this.
About the father being at this press conference. These are my words.
We're bullying him, but
don't quote anybody.
I know who that was. So.
Is a disrespect to the dignity of his son.
Metcalf telling WFAA he was just there to listen.
I'm not here to create a disturbance. I'm just here to stand by and witness this press conference.
And shook the hands of officers before leaving. Since he was asked to leave the press conference, we asked Metcalf what he thought about those remarks. Thursday night, he told us he's not talking to any media right now.
Our family has been under attack.
Anthony's mother, 𝗟𝗃𝗃𝗃, did eventually speak.
The claims that were used about the public
not her again.
To buy a home.
Not her again, please. I have one more clip before we end the live that I want to play.
Had a great hunting trip with me, him, and Austin. And he said, I'm going to come over and see you this weekend. I said, okay, I look forward to it. And he said, I love you, Dad. I said, I love you too, son. Those were the last words I ever heard from him.
We were just one person. We did everything the same. We were just exactly alike. Like we had a couple of differences, but most of the stuff we did together, the stuff we had, it's just we felt as one person. So it's just like we just connected so well in everything we did.
His commitment, his work ethic was about football. The boy stayed in the gym. The boy led the team. He was the leader. He was the glue. He was the driving force of that defense. He carried that team.
And every time we go to the gym, I get stronger, get better, get faster. I got an accomplishment in the weight room for football, and then Austin's smile just popped up. He was just so proud of me. Just gave me the biggest hug.
He was on his way to becoming a super positive impact in this world. It's not right. You should never bury your children. It's a very unfortunate, tragic outcome, not only for this family, but I feel for the family of the assailant because his life is over.
Wow. Father even says he feels, his assailant. I know, me too. Sending all my love to Austin's family. And, I just wish Karmelo is innocent, I guess, until trial, court of law or whatever. But, not really. He's really not innocent, right? He stabbed him. It's so sad. My heart goes out to Austin's family. I hope this doesn't make people even more nastier than they're being regarding this case. We'll see what happens. I appreciate you guys for being here and hanging out. I feel like I learned a lot. Class and trash, right? Right, Holly. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way out. I have another live shortly, so I will see you on the next one. I'm definitely going to keep tabs on this case, so definitely make sure you subscribe, do all the YouTube things. Thanks for hanging out. He was innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, but not in the court. Right. Right, Kelly. Good point. Please check that name. Nonetheless, I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for being here.